Welcome to the couch. Today, I'll be your host and your co-host at the same time here. Just me. So in today's episode, I want to talk about a topic that I believe is so important, especially during these hard times of coronavirus and all the stress, the anxiety, maybe some depression you or somebody you know has been feeling, along with some of that stuff you've seen on the news in the past 10 months that's gone on. Today, I want to talk about asking for help. And so before I get into the 4 things that you need to know when asking for help, I want to talk about for a sec, why is it so hard to approach that person, to have this conversation, to let them know what you're going through, to, as I like to say, let that guard down and become vulnerable. There's a big misconception out there that when I speak up and I ask for help and I become vulnerable, that makes me weak, that I'm not strong. But just know that it takes guts, it takes courage, it takes strength to approach a person and to let them know what you're going through, to let them know the battle you're fighting in here every day, like that thing that just weighs on you from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. It's not easy to do. It isn't. You know, courage. Courage is an interesting word because that means doing something even when it's hard, even when you don't want to do it. You're actually following through with it. But see, with this, and having this conversation, there's a lot of nerves involved, right? There's a lot of concern. There's a lot of fright involved with it, because you're also concerned about maybe the judgments people are going to put on you. Well, I'm here to let you know that you know whose judgment on you really matters? Not your brothers, not your sisters, not your friends, man. See, the most important judgment on you is your judgment on you. And don't forget that. Don't worry about what other people think about you. You're going through something in here and you want help, approach that person and ask them for help. Because I believe everybody deserves to be happy, regardless of what you think about you. Look, regardless of how you see you, regardless of the choices you've made in the past, you deserve to be happy. And that thing that you're fighting, that you're battling every single day, that from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, well, you can beat that. You can overcome it. You can. I'm telling you. And you are worth it. Like, in case you're saying to yourself, yeah, no, man, you're worth that fight. You're worth that battle. You can do this. I'm telling you, you can. And the first step is to approaching that person, is to speaking up, asking for help from them. So now that we've got being vulnerable is a strength, right? There's that big misconception that it's a weakness. Nah, it's a strength. It shows how truly strong you are, right? It shows the courage that you have. It shows the guts that you have. And also what we've gone over, that the only judgment on you the only judgment on you that is most important is yours. Not your friends, your brothers, your sisters, yours. So now let's go over those 4 things you need to know when speaking up and asking for help. Number 1, who? So who is that person that you should approach? Who's that person that you should talk to when you're struggling with this thing? and it can be your parents. But having this conversation with them, I get it's a little more nerve-wracking. There's a little more pressure, a little more weight that you carry with having this conversation because it's your parents. But also, too, not everybody is fortunate enough to have their parents in their life. So there's plenty of other people you can talk to about what you're going through. You can approach to ask for help. It can be a school teacher. It can be a school counselor. It can be if you have a psychologist at your school. It can also be a friend's parents. It can be maybe a sports coach that you feel comfortable opening up with about this, to have this conversation. Or it can be a pastor at the church you're going to. But the biggest thing here with this is with the who, it's someone that you trust. It's someone that you trust having this conversation with because it's not easy. So that's number one. Who? A trusted adult. Number two, how? So now that we know who we're supposed to talk to, how are you supposed to actually start this conversation? How are you supposed to actually ask them for help? And there's many ways you can do this. There's a lot of ways. You can face to face, let them know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, let it flow. But you might be saying, no way, man. Nope, that's too hard. That's too much pressure. No way. And that's fine. Maybe you approach them and you write something down and you read it. You write and you maybe say it right now, dude, no way. I'm not talking to them in person, and that is fine. If you have their number, you can text them. You can call them. You can email them. You can even reach out to them on social media. But the biggest thing is that you actually start this conversation, that you actually have it with them and you ask them for help. All right, so the who, number one, trusted adult. Number two, how? Plenty of ways, as you just heard. You can email, you can DM or message on Instagram, on Facebook, or you can text them. Now, number three. So now that we know the who, now that we know the how, what, right? What are you supposed to say? There's two parts to this. First one is when you initially send that email, when you initially send that text or that DM, that message, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a long paragraph of what you're going through. A sentence or two, just letting them know that I'm struggling, I need help. Can we talk? And then the second part of this is when you actually approach them, when you actually have the conversation now let them know how you're feeling. Now let them know the emotions you have. Now let them know the decisions you've made in the past. Look, I know this one's hard. This one's hard to let that truth out, to let that person know everything that's going on. But if you keep putting this front on, like you have been, like everything's all good when it's not, and you keep working as hard as you do every single day to make it look like you're all good when you're not, and nobody knows what you're going through, then how are you supposed to get that help? Let them know what you're going through. Let them know how you're feeling, your emotions. And so now that we know, number one, who, trusted adult. Number two, how, DM, email, text message. Number three, what? Well, first, just in a sentence or two, let them know I'm going through a hard time. I need help. We need to talk. And then second part to that, and asking them for the actual help, and you have the conversation. Be truthful with them. Let them know what you're going through. Number four, when, right? When's the best time to ask for help? Well, here's the thing, is when it is becoming something in your life that is really getting in the way of a lot of things. And see, I would say that a lot of times we make reasons to not ask for the help. We may say, for example, oh, my parents, they're busy right now. They don't know, no. But just realize that you have people in your life that love you. You do. I'm telling you. You may not think, but I'm telling you, you have people in your life that love you. You have people in your life that care about you. You have people in your life that if they only knew what you were going through in here, they would want you to come talk to them about it. I'm telling you, because these people, they care about the path you take. They care about the decisions you make. They care about where you end up in life. So to go over those 4 things: who, trusted adult; 2, how, you can email, you can text, you can DM on social media; 3, what do you say? Let them know you're struggling. Let them know you want to talk. When you actually approach them, and when you actually have that conversation with them, be truthful what you're going through. And then 4, when? Well, I would say, why not today? Why not right now have that conversation? Because you're worth it. You deserve to be happy. You do. Guys, comment below. Questions, comments, anything about the episode. All right? That's all. Take care. Have a great day.